Welcome to Helping Homes Find Their People, the podcast that's all about the world of real estate. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned investor, or just curious about the industry, we've got you covered. Join us as we explore all aspects of the real estate market, from buying and selling to investing and everything in between. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn something new on every episode of Helping Homes Find Their People with the Galluzzo Team. I'm here with Tony Melendez from Solarific Energy Consultants.
Thank you for having me. My name is Tony Melendez. I am the owner of Solarific Energy Consultants. And Solarific started at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night. And I started my career at Solar City, became too corporate. Then I went to work for another local installer, another corporate. And that's, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to start my own little thing. And so what I do is I partnered up with installers on Long Island and also across the country, so that if I met with a customer, and as just like you know, our business is generating referrals. So if I meet with a customer and Mrs. Smith has an Aunt Millie in Florida and she wants to go solar, if I was working with those other guys, I couldn't help them. Now I can say, absolutely, I could help you, and I can help them, and I can help you in Virginia. So I'm kind of like the pit bull of solar. Like, he's international, national, if you would. Yeah, so the reason why I started that company was a little more freedom and the ability to help more people.
Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah. when you mentioned like corporate, you're just kind of, you don't have to work under anyone else. This is just you straight up.
That's correct. So the way that those corporate companies are structured is so many quotas, and quotas, what they think they help a company, they help the top line, but what it does is it forces consultants to force people to sign. And when you force people to do anything, there's always that buyer's remorse, and you get clawbacks. And what I like about my company and what I do is I don't pressure anybody. I'm not here to motivate you to go solar. I'm here to help you go solar. You want to go solar? I'll tell you all about it. You got it. I'm going to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's cool. No is my second favorite answer. That's what I tell them.
And it helps lead everyone feel better about exactly. The purchase and kind of be more knowledgeable.
Exactly.
Well, that's very nice, because then you give them more of a helping hand instead of a forcing hand.
Exactly.
What do people usually say when you actually try to, let's say, pitch them solar? Do they give a lot of pushback lately, or do you think people are more, condescending to what solar is, or do they still have many questions, like even like leasing or buying, like the differences between that? We always get buyers are afraid of, they're leasing the solar panels, so then is there going to be a problem for when they want to get their name under, and do you have to pay extra fees or anything like that?
I always walk in and I say, I know you have a boatload of questions, so let's get them all out. I love questions. A customer with a lot of questions is an informed customer. And you know what also becomes your best referral? Because their friends, Bobby, Tim, and Mike, know that this guy is doing his homework. So once he's done his homework and I sit there and I don't shy away from any questions. If I don't know the answer, I said, I don't know the answer. Let me find out for you, and I'll get back to you. The whole leasing thing, when I first started Solar City, that's all they pushed was the lease. So all my friends, I sold them the lease. But what people don't know, people out there, is that if you are paying into state and federal taxes, you're eligible for a 30% federal tax credit and a $5,000 New York State tax credit. If they're both working, then they should own it. And the good news is that you could own a system with zero out-of-pocket, similar to a lease. But if you say you're a 65-year-old or 70-year-old Aunt Millie wants solar, but she doesn't pay any taxes, well, then she's the lease candidate. So what I do is I tell people, I'm going to ask you some uncomfortable questions just so I could figure out exactly which way to point you. Credit score, that's a hard question too, is asking somebody about their credit. And I say, I hate to ask this, but I have to. So there's so many great programs out there, but they all require a 640 to 650 credit score.
So basically it comes down to what how they are as as they're, like, let's say you're buying a package, you figure out what they can afford, or Correct. Even when it's the best time to lease,
right.
Or even to buy.
Right.
Has anyone ever, decided to just buy, even if they were better to lease, or do the vice versa, and you try to tell them no, or this is probably better for you, best suits for you? When do you ever come up to that?
It's best to hear them out. I don't want to cut anybody off. I say, you're okay, no problem. My job is to give you what you want. And what I do is I also tell them, you're the boss. I'll do whatever you want. It's my job to present the facts. How much you will pay on a lease, and here's how much you would pay on an ownership. When they see that it's a fraction of the cost, they're like, now I get it. So my job is to collect information, how much electricity they use, how big how old is the roof, how many panels fit around. I do all that stuff. I just ask the questions and then I present the package. This sales consultant does spend 2.5 hours in people's houses. Nobody wants you in their house for 2.5 hours. So I get all the information up front. I do all the legwork and I say, okay, this is how much you used to pay. This is how much you're going to pay.
You hand it right to them.
Hand it right to them.
So I had another question actually regarding, you were talking about roofs. I mean, do you recommend, what if they just got a new roof and they wanted to do that? Would that be a problem, or it just goes right on top?
It's fantastic.
Okay, so that's even better because then you can put it right on top. Would you want them to replace it? Or?
So there's the bonus. The bonus is if you need a new roof, we could do a new roof and solar, and you'd still pay less than what you're paying with PSE&G now.
Wow. So then it would be beneficial either way.
Because these panels are designed to last for 40 years. If you have a roof that's 20 years old, you don't want to, because then they'll charge you extra to take them off and then put them back on. And you get 30% on the roofing cost too. When are you ever going to have the opportunity to get 30% off of a roof?
And then you get all
everything,
the cost lowered and everything too. So at the end of the day, then it's beneficial for everyone to even get into solar.
Yeah.
With tax credit. And then you have the lowered utility bill. You actually start creating more energy. What happens with that now? Is there anything that changed?
So solar works like cell phone rollover minutes. So we design a system. Let's say you use 10,000 kilowatts and we put a system on your house that's going to generate 10,000 kilowatts. Let's say in January you generate 500. If you use 250 rolls over to the following month. And at the end of the year, if you've generated 10,000 and you use 7,000, the other 3,000 rolls over to the following year. They used to give you a small little financial credit. It's like 4 cents a watt. It was nothing. So now they just carry it over.
Okay, so
for like 25 years.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Tesla solar panel shingles?
I think they look great.
They look great, but do they do the same thing essentially?
Super expensive.
Yeah, super expensive.
Yeah, super expensive.
I always wondered.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
He's got a niche market. That's it is expensive.
Very expensive.
Very expensive. Like for a regular cape house, it's like 85 to 90 grand. A regular cape. You're in a real estate, you know what a cape is.
Yeah. Not that much square footage on it.
A solar system for a cape, probably 25, 30 gross, and then minus all the tax credits.
How much is a solar panel, let's say, on a cape then, for your solar panels or anyone that wanted to get one? Does it depend on how much they want or the size?
It depends on how many panels we could fit and how many panels they need. So there's no real, like, hey, it's $1,000 a panel. It all depends. And also on a cape, the pitch is greater on a cape. So there's a couple of different things that can increase the cost. Steep roof, flat roof. There's a different type of mounting mechanisms. So every house is different. When I go to a customer's house and they say, well, Bobby next door pays $35 a month. I said, sir, we cannot compare houses. We don't compare houses. You're different. He could be gas. You could be all electric.
That's actually pretty interesting. So it's all based house to house.
House to house is based. I mean, you have a house that has 4 daughters. 4 daughters. That's 4 blow dryers. That's 4 curling irons. When somebody has a baby and it's a girl, I say, well, congratulations, and you'll be calling me. Because you got a diaper warmer. She's gonna be blow drying her hair. Forget about it. You're gonna need me sooner or later.
You got air fryers, coffee.
Everything,
you got everything going on. So it could vary. What would be like the medium price of what you usually see?
I would say between 25 and 28,000 gross.
Okay.
But I like to use even numbers. So if you use a $30,000 system, think about it. A $30,000 system, you get 30% from the feds. That's $9 grand, and $5,000 from the state. That $30,000 system just costs you $16 grand.
In the long term, it's going to save you so much.
It's going to save you so much.
So what incentives or finance options are available for those interested in switching to solar energy?
Good question. So New York State has a program called NYSERDA, and it's called NYSERDA On-Bill Recovery. And this is like the secret, so put a mask on me when you put this one out. Most traditional solar loans have a dealer fee and an interest rate. And some dealer fees, with this rate hike that's going on now, you guys are experiencing it, some dealer fees are between 25 and 30%. So that $30,000 system, if you're going to finance it now, costs another 10 grand on top of 9 to 10 grand on top of that, plus an interest rate. New York State has a program where there's 0 dealer fees, and you can pay the loan back on your current PSE&G bill with all the savings.
So which one do you push for? Do you let people
do what's best for the customer, my friend? The NYSERDA loan.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that at all. So.
Yeah, and there's another incentive too that not many people know about, but I do. It's called the Affordable Solar Incentive, and it's based on total members of the household and annual income. So I had a gentleman, he made $110,000. He's got 6 people. The cap is 115. So guess what? That $10,000 system, that 10 kW system, he now saves 30% from the feds, 5,000 from the state, and he's also getting another $4,000 off because he's within this income bracket, or he's got a lot of people in his house. So there's a lot of incentives. And that's why I ask all the questions. And the hard question is, how much do you make? And then, what's your credit score? So this way, if he says, well, mine is bad, but my wife's is good, I'm like, okay. Or your Uncle Bobby, he won't co-sign for you. So that's why I ask all the questions, because I have a finance option for everybody, but my go-to is a NYSERDA loan.
Okay, a NYSERDA loan.
NYSERDA, NYSER.
Oh, very interesting. And then what do you think the future of solar is?
Bright.
Very bright, right?
Right. Current administration has put a big, huge push. I mean, the tax credits were scheduled, they went down at 26% last year, the year before that. And they were going to go down to 22, but the new gentleman in there brought it back up to 30. So it's helped for the next 8 to 10 years. So that's helped it. I mean, it just makes sense. The biggest pushback, I saw the question on your list, so I'm just going to attack it now, is the wife. And the wife doesn't like the way they look. And so I say, what color is your roof? She's like, I don't know. So I was like, so how do you know what they're going to look like? And when I first started solar, they were hideous, man. They were hideous, but I had to sell them. They were blue with white checkered stripes and all that jazz. So now they're all black. The whole thing. I call them the wife pleasers. When I'm talking to the husband, and I'm like, hey, man, don't worry, we're going to get it. Call them the wife pleasers. There aren't any pink panels coming out soon or any purple. There's nothing coming out. Black is all you get. It sits nice and low to the roof.
Yeah.
Squirrel guards around. It's beautiful.
You can barely see it. And it's shiny.
You can see it.
It's shiny and new.
Yeah. It's shiny. And it's going to save you a lot of money.
And they also give you tax benefits. And
tax benefits.
Like that,
and you're doing a great thing for the earth. It was just Earth Day, I think, 2 days ago or something like that.
It was.
Clean energy.
So how is everything going with you and with the business anyway? Has there been the uptick then? There
is an uptick. So usually you get the like the October, November, December. Again, it's holiday season. People don't want to talk to you. They want to focus on turkeys and buying gifts, and that's cool. I don't chase people. So there's a lull, but now is when things start to pick up. January, February, around there, when they're kind of detoxing from all the turkey and food that they ate. Electricity is measured by kilowatt hours, and there's a cost per kilowatt. Last year, PSE&G was charging between 20 and 21 cents, and now it's around 26. So my line to people, I use humor in everything that I do. It's just the way I operate. So I tell people, when you go solar, post a picture of your system out there and tag me and say, thank you, Tony Melendez, for helping me free myself from the abusive relationship with PSE&G. It's a little humor, but it's true.
Yeah.
Because they could raise their costs at any given time. There's no warning, there's no nothing. It just goes right up. And that's when your phone rings.
Yep.
Like, hey man, you got to call me. This bill, it's gone through the roof.
It could go anywhere.
And I take care of everything.
That's good.
I'm here to help you. I call myself the solar superhero.
Well, it's good that you put comedy in there as well. It helps lessen the blow.
Gotta.
So you do comedy then?
I did stand up. It was on my bucket list, and the girl I was dating at the time, she'd got a gift certificate to take a class, and it taught me how to structure a joke. Like, I could stand in a bar and have people laughing the whole time, but being on stage and telling, hand scripted jokes, that was, you have to write them properly, because you have to keep them. The goal is to keep them laughing every minute or every 30 seconds, 30 or 40 seconds. It was tough. Do you still do it or no? What's that?
Do you still do stand up?
You know what? I thought about getting back into it, but it takes work. I mean, you tried writing down 5 minutes. When they said write 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, that's nothing. 5 minutes of comedy is hard to write, of jokes, back to back to back to back, to keep these people laughing. You know, because if you don't, then you get hecklers, then you're in trouble. But knock on wood, I never got heckled.
Well, you're very funny anyway. So
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. My big thing is I play acoustic. I have before the pandemic hit, I started an acoustic duo. I used to play in big bands and play up and carry all this stuff. I'm too old for that. So so I started this Tone and a Duke, and it's just two guys play acoustic. He sings, I sing. He plays, I play. And I think what I love the most about it, I enjoy being able to take people out of their element. Right? You're having a bad day, come listen to Tony. And Tony and the Duke. You know, you're having a bad day, let me tell you a joke. Do something. You know, it's kind of, I feel like it's helping people take them out of that. Like we got hired to play at Trace Palms in Babylon. I don't know if you've ever been there. And we were supposed to play from 6 to 9. Well, we played from 6 to 11. Because I was just like, I don't care. I was like, Chris, you want to keep playing? He's like, yeah, let's go. You know, we're having a couple of beers. People are singing, Sweet Caroline. Bop, bop, bop. It's such an amazing feeling when you're in control. I don't want to say, I guess in control, and everybody's just like feeding off of your vibe.
Yeah.
You know? And I love the smiles on everybody's faces. I mean,
Get the party going.
Yeah, that's me. That's what I do.
Also, when it comes to solar panels and everything like that, what time of the seasons do you really want them to go up? Would it be for spring or just at fall?
Get that question all the time. When's the best time to go solar? I say yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday's the best time. Like people that I was chasing around in November, December, not chasing, you know what I mean? Following up with, the best time is to get them doing sooner than later, before the spring. Now the days are starting to get longer. Remember I was telling you how you bank energy?
Yeah.
Right? So if you got installed in January, February, then you're golden. March, April, golden. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, golden. Because you're still safe. Like I have a woman that I'm following up with now. Now she's getting to me. Because she pokes at me. She's like, oh, hey, it's me. Can you send me this? Or do you want to? I'm like, sure, no problem. So I have this meme that I send her. It's Oprah. You know, Oprah gives away stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a meme of Oprah going, you're going solar. You're going solar. You're going. And I send it to everybody that's on the fence or that ghosts me.
Yeah.
You know, if you say, hey, no, I don't want it, I'll leave you alone. But until then, you're getting the superhero meme, you're getting the Oprah meme, you're getting the Spanky from the Little Rascals throwing money out the window. I go, what are you doing? You're throwing money out the window.
So memes save the day.
Let me tell you, memes save the day. I've been known to put people's faces on milk cartons. You know, on the back of a milk carton it says, have you seen Jimmy?
Yeah.
And I find a picture of them and I put it in there and it says, have you seen so-and-so?
Yeah.
And that gets them to respond. I think I'm going to do that to Diane Martin from Long Beach. she's getting a milk carton. That's it.
Diane, you're lost. You need some solar in your life.
You need it. She wants it.
Yeah.
She wants it. But I'm like, what is going on here?
Got to pull the trigger.
That's all right.
Are there any things that you want to tell people that do you have questions about solar? Or
You know what I tell? I say information is free. On the back of my business card, it says, solar made simple. I'm telling you, there are people, sales consultants, that sit in people's houses for 2.5 hours, 2 to 2.5. I won't do that to them because they don't want you in their house. Unless you're, I'm telling you, I've done some crazy things in appointments. I'll tell you that. I was at a thing. I actually still have the video too. The woman was signing and I was playing a guitar, talking and singing with the husband. I went to another guy's house and I taught his daughter how to do the cup song. I was in the backyard playing with somebody's dog. That's the thing. I want people to feel comfortable, so I not become one of them, like I'm going to move in and hop in your shower. But I just want people to feel comfortable. It's that average system cost was $30. This I had one the other day was $85,000. And it wasn't the Tesla roof. It was just a big system because they use a lot of electric.
Yeah.
But one thing I tell people is that information is free. I said, just send on the back of the bill. See that? I have ADD, so. On the back of my card, it says, send me electric bill. That's how it all starts. It all starts with the electric bill. I look at the back to see how much you use. I do a design to figure out how many panels I could fit on your house and how much of that electricity I could offset. And the third 3 steps. The third one is choose a new low monthly payment. It's going to be less than what you're paying now. And if it's not, then it's not the right fit for you. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's it. Solar is a lot of fun. That's what I tell people. Like, it's fun. It's fun saving money. The whole process. And my job is to make things. They're like, do I have to do the permit? I said, I do everything. You just say yes. Say yes. I want to go solar. I want to be solarized by Tony Melendez. And I take care of everything. Everything.
So I have another question regarding leases.
Go.
So when, let's say a buyer's buying a new house, solar panels are on there. When they want to transfer it onto the name, does it depend on like the certain finance that they did, a certain lease that they have under the contract?
Yeah.
Is it easy to transfer the name over?
It is easy, actually. I've heard some nightmare stories of, like everything, it's got to follow up. You have to let them know 2 weeks in advance before the closing, and they figure out the paperwork, and then they transfer it over to the new homeowner. So when you're doing a lease, you have 2 options. You could buy the system outright. You could transfer it over to the new homeowner.
Okay.
So it's a pretty simple process. You just have to let the leasing company know. Now with the NYSERDA loan, which is so great about that, is that it's 100% transferable to the new homeowner. It's seamless.
So no one has to worry about
Nothing.
a lease change.
Nothing.
Because that's like the main thing. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to have to pay more fees towards it to even transfer the name, or how much of the debt I'm going to come take over.
No. What I tell people is, if you have 5 years left on let's say you're owning the system, like the NYSERDA loan is, they have 5-year, 10-year, and 15-year options. I'd say you can transfer it, or you can pay off the balance and incorporate that cost into the house. You can tell them, hey, is it a selling feature? I'm like, all right, you try this. My bill used to be $250 a month. Now it's $0.
Very nice. When did you even get into this business?
2016.
Nice. What made you even decide that at the end of the day?
A friend of mine got me into it. He was like, hey, man, why don't you come sell solar panels? I was like, all right. Working Solar City, driving that little solar mobile. I used to post on Facebook this picture of me pointing at the sun in front of the solar mobile. Those were the days. And then I left there and I went to go work for another local installer. And then after that, I was like, you know what? You're demanding me to be here. You're demanding me to be there. You have these quotas. If you don't, you're going to threaten me. No. I'm my own man.
Not going to play that game.
Not going to play that game. So it was the best thing I ever did. And there were some bumps and bruises along the way.
I feel like that always happens when you're coming into something new. You don't really know the industry. You're also playing against other people, other agents and consultants and things like that.
That's the part too, is that you need to keep your ears to the ground to know what's going on in the business, whether it's new products or new financing or the battery backup, which I don't really do much with. You talk to there's so many houses on Long Island. I don't consider like other sales guys like competition. I'm like, bro, there's enough
for everybody.
There's enough for everybody. I'm not greedy. As a matter of fact, they called me up for help with this NYSERDA program. Like, how do I do it? I was like, no problem. Let's schedule a lunch. I'll teach you how to do it.
Do you go to like conventions like that are going to have new technologies? Have you been to one?
No.
No.
They just had like SolarCon.
Yeah. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't do any of that stuff. I probably should though.
Yeah, how much would
this is the first podcast I've done. Maybe I'll go to SolarCon next year.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, this is recorded, so now you have to be to your word on that one.
It's funny. I talk about what I do to everybody. It'll be online. If I'm playing a gig, I talk about solar. If the bartender just bought a new house to Trey Palms, I'm like, hey man, when that electric bill gets to be too much, you call me. I'm going to help you. I let people know. That's how a lot of my business, actually all of my business, is through word of mouth. And just talking about, I did a stand-up gig, and there was this young kid there who's phenomenal, stand-up comedian. His father, I'm like, Joe, when are we putting solar panels on your house? He's like, yo, man, I want solar, bro, but I need a new roof. I'm like, gotcha.
That's perfect time.
Yeah.
We just went through that.
That's the thing. Oh, I can't afford a new roof. I have no money for it. I was like, you got a good credit score? Because we can make it happen. We can make it happen. So I always put it out there, and I always ask. And even when I go out to restaurants and I'm talking to waitresses, I'm like, how's your electric bill? She's like, what? Like, how's your electric bill? Is it high? Like everybody else? She's like, yeah.
Are you tired of high energy bills and reliance on traditional energy sources? Take control of your energy needs with Solarific Energy Company. Their team of experts It specializes in designing and installing solar energy systems for homes and businesses. By harnessing the power of the sun, you can reduce your energy bills and make a positive impact on the environment. Plus, with government incentives and financing options available, going solar has never been more accessible. So why wait? Contact Solarific Energy Company today to schedule your free consultation and take the first steps towards a brighter, cleaner future. Call Tony Melendez now for your solar panels today.
I had another question that I would like you to answer. Maybe like you relate this question.
Yeah.
Like any daily habits that keeps you going, and I'm sure there was like a lot of lessons, hiccups, failures that some might say failures, but it could be a lesson for you that you had along the way to become where you're at now.
I'll tell you, you want to know who really saved me?
I would love to know. Yes.
His father.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh wow.
His father.
So it became like a full circle.
His father brought me into an organization, a men's organization on Long Island, and it's just a group of men that meet every week and we talk about the stuff going on in our lives, and our challenges, our wins, what we want to do, why can't we do it, and then we hold each other accountable.
It's like a brotherhood community.
Yeah. It's like trying to find your purpose and things like that.
It's just I was divorced. I got divorced, and when I got divorced, his dad was like, bro, you should just come down to one of these meetings. And I went. I actually went to one meeting, and then I went. It's a weekend. You go away for a weekend, a retreat thing, and they kind of do some things to you, not to you, but whatever they do. So you go to that weekend.
They try to help you find who you are as a man. Yeah, your purpose, and really break you down a little bit.
I feel like I'm on a TV screen right now.
Yeah.
No joke. It's like, one thing I learned too is like a man without a purpose is merely existing.
Okay, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's like this real estate thing, and like even the gym. So this week I hit 5 weeks between 5 and 6 days in the gym. And it's something that I've had challenges for a long time.
Like staying consistent on the
consistency and figure it out. Like I said, I had this knee done in October and this one done in January.
Oh, they're really like back to back kind of.
Back to back. So I'm still like hobbling. I'm probably gonna hobble out of here when I leave here. But when I was doing physical therapy, I realized that I just moved into a new apartment across the street from my mother. And I was like, God put me here for a reason, because my mother's 80 something. She's kind of falling apart a little bit, And he put me here for a reason, And it's she helped me when I was down with my knees, and now she's got some challenges around her heart, so now I'm going to help her. And she's you want the whole backstory. I lost my brother, my sister, and my father.
I'm sorry if you lost.
Thank you. And I'm the only one she's got left. So, very spiritual, I guess. So when I had my leg up in physical therapy, I said, I gotta get myself into shape. There's so many people that rely on me. I got my 4 kids. I got, my ex-wife. She needs me to be around for these kids. My mother needs me. The men of the organization need me. I vowed to never look a man in the eye, see pain, and turn the other way because it's easier. I'm blessed. I'm telling you, I wake up every morning and put my feet on the ground. And I'm like, you know what, man? I made it another day. Then I reach out to a bunch of guys that are in the basement. We call it in the basement in your head. We do a check-in thing. You go to the doctor, what's your pain scale, 1 to 10? And he's like, bro, I'm like a 5 or a 6. I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be a lot of work. But I give it to him. I was like, all right, well, take a second. I said, write down 3 things that you're grateful for, and I'll check back with you in a little bit. There's a man on my team now. He's like, doesn't love himself. I'm like, I asked him, because you could just sell all the self-love. They go, bro, do you love yourself? And he's like, no. That's my goal, is to make people, I think I'm gonna start my own little podcast of fucking men's work. All that stuff that I was telling you that I've been through, like I don't use it as like, it helps propel me. That's why I tell all these men in the groups, like some of them are not ashamed to be there. They're like, oh, I don't really talk about what. Like, why not? You're better.
I could see how people don't want to mention it and things like that.
Because they don't want to seem like they're broken.
Yeah, or like they don't want to have to explain themselves to anybody else either. The
reason why I told you guys my story, and I do tell my story, is because I want people to see that I'm real. Right. I'm not here trying to fix you. I'm here to let you know that, hey man, I've been through this, or I've seen a lot of. I know that we can help you. This organization is here to help you become better. And it's not just about you. It's about your wife. It's about your kids. It's about your mother. It's about your sisters. It's about making you a better man for your community and your family.
You don't want to be a suckhole.
The world sucks chart is like this. It's like a funnel. And at the bottom is self. And that's where when you're just concerned about yourself and you have a pity parties. The one level above that is family. Above that is team. community, and the higher you are, the further away you are from being there. So that's like the whole service to others thing. That's where that, So if you serve your family, they're going to take care of you. If you serve your community, they're going to take care of your family. Yeah. That whole thing, like service to others equals power, Because I'm telling you, where I am now versus where I was, I couldn't have gotten there without this organization. And the one thing that I realized too is, and it took me a while, is always be a man of action, man in action. No shit's gonna happen. Right. No problem, we'll figure it out. Problem, no problem, figure it out. Solution oriented and an action taker.
So what do you do for your day-to-days?
Day-to-day.
To get ready for the days and get the ground running?
Well, just recently, actually for the past 5 weeks, I've been going to the gym and around 6:30. I ride the bike, do some lifting, and I start thinking about how the day's going to go. But I go through the pipeline of leads, and I just follow up with people to make sure that they have the proper information to make an informed decision. Yeah, so that's what I do. I wake up and I watch a lot of positivity. I like this Ray Lewis lion mentality.
Thanks for tuning in to Helping Homes Find Their People with the Galluzzo Team. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the real estate world and gained some valuable insights and knowledge along the way. We're here with Tony Melendez at Solarific, so you gotta give him a call. And remember, when you're buying, selling, or investing in real estate, the Galluzzo Team is here to help you every step of the way. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next episode, Helping Homes Find Their People.